Lord, thou hast here thy 99. Are they not enough for thee? But the shepherd made answer, This of mine has wandered away from me, and though the road be rough and steep, I go to the desert to find my sheep. I go to the desert to find my sheep. Welcome to day number 7 of our Journey with Jesus Bible reading plan. Our reading today was Luke 15. Have you ever lost something? If you're like me, you probably lost more things and more often than you're willing to admit. Once when Brooke was real little, just a toddler, we all of a sudden we couldn't find her. We looked and we looked outside, we looked all around the house, and she was nowhere to be found. And we went up and down the street, looked in the backyard, looked in the garage, looked in the front yard, and we couldn't find her for anything. And things were beginning to get a little bit desperate. We were about ready to call the police, and it was that point. And then somebody went into her bedroom and saw her sitting in her bedroom quietly coloring, just like she should have been doing. And it turned out all this time she hadn't really been lost. We just didn't realize that she was in her bedroom the entire time, being good and coloring like kids don't normally do. But as you can imagine, there was anxiety and desperation as we begin to search and contemplate calling the police and all that entailed. And probably those of you that have kids have something, maybe not the same, but the situation where one of the kids wandered off or came up missing, and it ended up being not nearly as serious as it could have been, but the anxiety was real. The fear was real. Our passage today has three parables, and I know that many of you are familiar with these 3 parables. And of course, these 3 parables are really like one parable that's restated in 3 different ways, because they all have variations on that same message. And that message would be God's response to our sinfulness. That idea of what does God do with us in our sinful and lost estate. There is, of course, the parable of the lost sheep, where he left the 99 on the hill, the parable of the lost coin, and of course the final one, and perhaps the most famous, is the parable of the lost son, otherwise called the prodigal son, which the son in rebellion leaves his dad. And we see that the son is foolish. The father is extravagant in his mercy and in his grace and his love for that son. As we look at these, what I see there is echoed again in Luke 19:10, where the Son of Man came to seek and to save what was lost. And we see that God's attitude for the lost soul, for the sinner, is one of searching high and low, of looking in every nook and cranny, of longing for his lost child to come home. And I would like to emphasize that is where we ought to be too. That if we're going to have that same love, that same attitude as Jesus, then we're going to have that, if you will, that anxiety, the desperation that searches searches to seek and to save that soul that is lost. I'd like to encourage you to, in the comment area, to write something in this that stands out to you, that you would write down in the comment area. Maybe what jumps out, insights that you might have into this that you would share. I'd really like to see some folks get involved in more than just watching, but also commenting and interacting with each other as we look at some of these passages.